Springfest be without inspiration? Not that everything up here hasn't been inspirational, but a true, Tuppermonial. And it gives me deep pleasure to introduce to you my brand new director. Many of you know this awesome lady, and I hope that you will give her a big, warm reception. Because she has a heartfelt story to share with you, and I know that you will give her your great listening ears and all your love. Katie Hart. Hi. So this is my first time doing anything like this, so bear with me. All right. Wow, what a ride. That's all I can say besides don't try to predict how your life will go, because every path you could ever conceive of will never come close to looking like the road you end up on. As scary as that may be, it's the best and only way to have it. Since I was a kid, I always imagined I'd be a mom, a wife, a sister, and some kind of profession, dolphin trainer, teacher, psychologist, to name a few. But Tupperware lady? Are you flipping kidding me? If someone told me just even 3 years ago that I would be a Tupperware lady someday, I'd still be on the ground laughing. Yet 3 years ago, that is another title I acquired. I can still hear my friends' laughter when I told them about my new title. You, a Tupperware lady? You can't be serious. The path that ultimately led me to standing here today started in my early 20s when I attended my first home party and signed on as a consultant. The company didn't excite me, so it was a short stop on my path, but I learned how good it felt to have something that was yours and you were in control of. And that direct sales was a great way to sell a product, no matter what my family and friends had to say otherwise. So life in the corporate world, which I had always been in since I graduated from college, went on with my usual 60-plus hours a week in the office and even more time spent working at home. I didn't know life any other way. My time was and always would be owned by someone else. Then along came the statement, do twins run in your family? Because you're having them. 4 months after I got married and just received a big promotion at work, which came along with more hours, getting to the office at 6 a.m., 6 days a week, no pay increase because I was told I already made too much money. OMG, what now? Fast forward about 9 months and I'm at home, sleep deprived, crying every time the girls cried. My mind constantly spinning because with a new home, 2 additions to the family, I just couldn't figure out how we were ever gonna be able to survive. I thought I was never more scared in my life. But then, 4 weeks after bringing the girls home, my husband comes home early from work and says, well, I was let go of my job today. I can't begin to explain the flood of emotions that went through me at that very second. It was like I was in another dimension away from reality. There was no way this was really happening. I learned that second what true fear is, and the source of it was crying in my arms. For the first time since I graduated from college, I felt non-self-sufficient, and that petrified me more than words could ever express. The fear was so great that my bout of baby blues torpedoed into full-blown postpartum, but I wouldn't even know that was what was going on with me for another 2.5 years. Life passed quickly after that. I was forced to go back to work prematurely from my maternity leave, which I was in no mental shape to handle, but what else could I do? If only I knew then what I know now, right? I worked down in Florida with the girls for another 5 months while my husband came back up to Mass to work, and once I collected my 2006 bonus, I gave my notice and drove north crying the entire way along with the girls. I wasn't sure what had happened. I just knew that because of a job loss and lack of self-sufficiency, I was being ripped away from my career, the first home I ever owned, in a place I was not ready to leave, but I had no control over the situation at all. Once again, if only I knew then what I know now, I may have been able to make my own choices of where I was going to live, work, and raise my girls. By this point, the girls were 6 months old. I was living in the basement of my parents' house in one room with my husband and 2 babies. I had no clue what I was supposed to do. I always assumed I'd be working and my kids would be in daycare. but I wasn't even living in reality at this point because of the postpartum. How could I possibly get a job, let alone maintain a 60-plus hour a week one and take care of my girls? Over the next few years, my marriage began to disintegrate. I felt abandoned, betrayed, scared, alone. But most of all, I felt trapped because financially changing my living situation wasn't an option. I don't know if I had ever felt so out of control of my life. Then I walked into a vendor show, which would lead to a world that would change everything for me, all because I wanted to have a Tupperware party to make fun of my newfound domestication in my 30s. My party was a few weeks later, and laughing hysterically at myself, I put out a very comical email about there being a Tupperware lady in the family, and had a decal made up for my car that said, "Proud to be a Tupperware lady." So needless to say, I was not feeling like I would be taking this whole thing very seriously. I just thought it was so funny, and I liked the free stuff. Then on to January Hostess Appreciation Powwow, 3 years ago, in my first Joan hug. Man, if only I could have had a 30-second flash of the future. At that point, I would have thought I was shown somebody else's life. So Joan pulls us newbies up to the front to ask what we are most excited about with the opportunity. She gets to me, and I tell her I'm most excited about the free stuff. I guess that was the wrong answer, because she reworded the question and asked, "What are you hoping to gain from the business?" And I repeated, "The free stuff." It was an honest answer. So she said, "Are you excited about making money, right?" Sure. But I didn't really mean it. If Joan only knew how many more smart aleck answers and comments were in her future, she just might have kicked me out of powwow right then and there. In all seriousness, the reason for my answer and not meaning it when I said sure about the money is because I didn't believe I would be making any significant amounts. But the challenges would excite me for a little while because I like the free stuff, and I really liked the FedEx guy coming to my house so often. It was pretty addicting. Bottom line, I didn't believe. I didn't believe in the opportunity. I didn't believe in the things people were saying. And most of all, I didn't believe in me. For the first time in a very long time, I felt like I fit in somewhere. I found that my happiest times were with Tupperware people at Tupperware events. This group of people was quickly becoming my second family. I couldn't believe the support that there was within the organization. I started building a team, and it was great being the one motivating and training my new consultants. I watched quite a few friends promote to director and even earned the convertible Mustang, but I still didn't believe enough in myself to think I could ever achieve what they had. I had excuses for everything, too. The reality was I never dreamed. I never really knew how to. I let life lead me instead of leading my own life and creating a future that I desired. Over the next 2 years, I worked my business consistently, and I was 100% engaged in building momentum. Meanwhile, I was out planting seeds in the world, and my leaders were also planting seeds in me. At the same time, my day job wasn't going well, and neither was my marriage. I should have been terrified about the loss of income because I wasn't even getting paid for the work I was doing. But when I relooked at everything, most of my income was actually coming from Tupperware, and I just hadn't realized it. The hobby had turned into a real job without even knowing it. I didn't have to be scared about money. Tupperware was actually currently getting me by while maintaining my business. I thought, just imagine what could happen if I worked on really growing my business. I had a new strength and confidence I hadn't had in years. And then came the power of one, and her name is Lily. And we met at a vendor event. She was the catalyst that led to my team's rapid growth. Yes, I always consistently worked and planted seeds, but it's my team that put me here today, standing before you as a new director. And I will forever be grateful to them for helping me change the answer to the question my girls asked the first day we moved into our new home alone this past summer. Danny and Taylor turned to me with sad eyes while we were unpacking and asked, "Are we ever going to get to go on vacation like our friends do?" My heart sank, and the realities of single parenthood kicked me in the gut as I responded with a very honest answer. I don't know, girls, I just don't know. Well, exactly 1 year later, the answer this time will be an astonishing, yes, we will. A dream one to Disney, Tupperware style. My life is on such a better course since I became part of the Damage Melody Mates organization. I have so many close friends within the Tupperware family. We've shared tears, laughs, felt each other's pain and joy, and boy, have we hugged. Joan is always there to read my 5-page emails I spew out in the middle of the night when I have too much on my mind. Lily is constantly there to make me laugh when I want to cry, and you can dress me. Lauren is the best sounding board ever, and always knows how to calm me down when my worrying self takes over. I am so lucky to have so many amazing women and Tommies surrounding me on the Tupperware journey. I could say I have no idea what the future holds, but that's not the truth. We all carve out our own path in life and hold destiny in our own hands. We all have choices in life, and I choose to be happy. A choice I wouldn't have made if I hadn't said yes to the opportunity. Thank you, Joan, for always being my inspiration in life and within my business. You have helped me navigate through some of the most difficult times in my life and have shown me so much about what I really want out of life. We are truly blessed to have you as our leader and mentor, but most of all, as our friend. I look forward to many, many more hugs. Oh, working alongside you too. Everything I have learned over the past 3 years is more than I could ever put down on paper. But what I do know is I was a shell of my former self when I said yes to Tupperware. And today, I am more confident and stronger than I have ever been. There is still a long journey ahead, but I will keep making new goals and continuing on the path toward my dreams. But I plan on enjoying the ride the rest of the way. So who's coming with me?